Welcome back to Good Day in Law. Louisiana State Trooper Casey Wallace joins us today in the studio. Casey, thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having us again.
Of course. Y'all are very busy, of course, with the spring approaching and, you know, doing a lot of safety things out there.
Yeah, our main, the state police in general's main goal is for safety in general on our roadways and for, I guess, injury prevention. And what we kind of wanted to go over this morning, because we talked about different things that we could talk about. Last time was our Mardi Gras stuff, and Mardi Gras, we actually came through that decently smooth on the Mardi Gras issues.
Good.
New Orleans and everything, we were fine. But mainly, we kind of want to get back into some different programs that we run through our area. A lot of people don't even know about it. Matter of fact, my wife says that to me all the time. If I didn't participate in it, she probably wouldn't even know about it. We actually have a program for injury prevention called Sudden Impact. And if you go to Facebook, I think it's under Sudden Impact Louisiana.
Okay.
And you can look at that. It's for all sophomores in our area. Matter of fact, our Troop E area has one of the biggest programs in the state. It comes out of New Orleans. The program is actually originated out of the University Medical Center in New Orleans.
Okay.
And we've expanded that through partnerships through mainly, well, actually, I know it's every troop in our state. Some programs are bigger than others. We partner with a local trauma center, which ours is Rapides Regional Medical Center, and we run our classes. During COVID, we actually went to school.
Okay.
But right now we are back at the hospitals, and all sophomores, wherever school, right now we actually do it on a volunteer basis. I go to different schools in our area, our different parishes, and like I said, I have 32 different schools that participate. Now, come next school year, if me and Jeff Powell get it lined out, we're working on that, is that we're going to try to make it mandatory, or he's going to try to make it mandatory for all of our public schools in Rapides Parish,
wow,
where all your sophomore students will have to participate in Sudden Impact. And just a basic, I guess, gist of Sudden Impact, I call it more of a souped up driving school scenario, because driving school is very good for our kids, but it's just the basic knowledge of laws, getting your driving time in, showing you the things that you need to know to be able to drive.
Right.
Now, we go kind of beyond that. It's going to be more of not necessarily telling you about laws, but just for instance, that we have trauma victims that come in. You know, a drunk driver hit my daughter, a drunk driver hit my whoever your significant other is. These are the long-term consequences of our decisions, okay? What's the long-term consequences? And I say extreme end, drunk, if you get hit by somebody.
Right.
Longer consequences of, you know, what if I get a DWI? What is the long-term consequences of that? Not only for myself, but for somebody maybe that I injured. And
right,
we bring those trauma victims in that wasn't even drunk, but they were drinking, and maybe the driver wasn't, and they made a wrong decision. And just the things that we want to you know, imply to them or really stand out for them is that, you know, bad things do happen. They do happen. But are you setting yourself up for failure by not knowing? And the number one question that I ask my young people is that, what is the number one killer of your age category? And that's from 15 to 18, 15 to 21. What is the number one killer? And the thing that I get a bunch of is homicide, suicide, drug overdose. A lot of them say that. Half and half say motor vehicle crashes, but it is motor vehicle crashes. The number one killer for our teenagers, hands down, statistics never lie, is a motor vehicle crash. From lack of experience to distractions in the vehicle, all of that plays a factor. These cell phones, and I harp on cell phones in those classes because that's not number one as of yet, but it's getting so close.
Right.
Because when we were coming up, you didn't have a computer in your hands. You know, I had a Razor flip phone. That was my first phone. I was the man. I had a Razor flip phone. And now they got iPhone, I don't even know what we're on now, like 14s or something now.
Yeah.
Like I tell them too, y'all quit Googling your way through life. I'm telling you, these cell phones, I can get on a soapbox. I'm not gonna get on one right now, but I can. But the number one killer of our age that age category is hands down something with a motor on it. Golf carts, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, vehicles, anything with a motor on it, that's killing our children. They're killing them. And
right,
the thing is, as a society, when you see a car wreck pop up on your news feed, and I fall victim to it too, do you just scroll past it? But you'll read about a suicide or a homicide, you'll read about it. But car crashes, society has accepted those. So just in 2021, we had 5,000 teenagers got killed in motor vehicle crashes in the United States.
Wow.
5,000. If that would have been a gun issue or any other issue that is violent, they would be throwing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars at it to stop it.
Right.
But when you start talking about car wrecks, I think we become numb to it. And then what I tell my young people is, when you see that on your news feeds, do you even look at it? And they look at me like a calf looking at a new gate. They're like, well, we scroll past it. But it was so important for you to know about the new lip plumping ad or the whatever. That ain't gonna save your life.
Right.
That's just, you know, Hollywood pushing that or whatever it is.
Right.
But like I tell them when they come to my class, and I make fun of my teenagers sometimes. Don't look at me to respond. Look at me to understand. I don't even let them say yes or no anymore. Just look at me and blink your eyes. Because when you tell your daughters or your kids to do something, how many times they forget that you told them as soon as you walk away? Because they're telling you that to just get you off their back.
Right.
So I tell them, don't even listen. Don't even respond to what I'm telling you. Just listen. And because this class that we try to teach them is an injury prevention class that we partner with the hospital is. I don't want them to have to go through any of that. So we show them trauma victim. We show them pictures of what it's going to look like in the ER. What happens if you don't wear your seatbelt? What's the consequences of internal injuries? You know, because I always tell them, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. My wife says I am. No, she doesn't. But if this arm is backwards, it's broke.
Right.
It's not rocket scientist.
Right.
But I can't tell you if I got an internal bleed. I don't know. The crashes are a funny dynamic. You know, does the amount of damage you get to your vehicle dictate your injuries? No. I've seen some crashes where there was no car left, and the guy walks up to me drinking a cup of coffee and goes, he flew out the sunroof and landed on his feet. I don't know. You don't know about these things, and I've had very minor crashes where airbag hit them just right and it killed them.
Wow.
I don't know. Crashes are a very funny thing, but we can prevent that at an early age, even our older people as well. Why go through all of that when you don't have to?
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much what sudden impact is just of, showing them all of the consequences of, some of it may be on the extreme end, but I'd rather show them the extreme end than for them to think that nothing can ever happen to them, because that's kind of our young people in a whole. They just don't understand, you know, what task they're about to do. They're
Right.
14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, what do y'all know? Please enlighten me on what you know. You know, because they know everything. But when they walk out of class, 9 out of 10 times, they look at me and they go, I ain't never driving again. And I said, that's good. That's good. At least now you know
Right.
what could happen.
Right.
That's the big thing, what could happen. And just seeing the light come on when you show them certain things, and they never considered it. They never even thought about it. Because like I said, driver's ed covers a lot of things. It does. It's a very good program. But this kind of goes beyond that to really give them exactly what I see every day and the tragedy that comes along with driving.
Right.
So it's a very huge responsibility. And I don't want to go tell you, I don't want to go to your house because your teenager messed up. I don't ever want to do that. That's like
Right.
the worst thing we ever do is for anybody in general, but especially when you go start talking to, and I've made a couple of those in my career that I will never forget for the long as I live, because the things that had a girl that just didn't have her seatbelt on. She got partially ejected. The vehicle rolls over. She didn't make it. So those simple things that you can do to survive is what we go over, and we go over it, you know, at the hospital. We go over in great details. And when they go out, almost every class I ever teach, they're like, I just never considered that part of it.
Right.
It's just, it's very different when you have someone that actually comes and tells you what happened to them and what they're still dealing with.
Right. Right.
You know,
now, I know this is a voluntary program. If people are interested in signing up for it, how do they go about doing that?
You can either contact Troop E here in Alexandria, or you can go to the lsp.org website, and
Okay.
my phone, I'm thinking maybe my personal phone number's under there, and that's fine, call me.
Okay.
We can set you up. Troop E can get you in contact with me, but it's if you have a young one that's about to start driving and your school does not participate in sudden impact, go talk to your principal, because I've talked to most of them. Some of them participate, some of them don't. I know the principals have a huge undertaking on what programs they allow and don't allow, buses. It's a lot of logistics when you start talking about the schools. And that's kind of the thing that we normally fall into. It's not that your school maybe doesn't want to participate,
Right.
is that they have so much other stuff that they're doing, and it's just getting the time with your kids. It's about a 6 to 8 hour process to go through. We walk them through the ER. We take them up to the trauma bays. Matter of fact, the other day when I had the students in there, we had a helicopter landing with a trauma 1 victim coming in. They're like,
Wow.
this is not like Grey's Anatomy. I'm like, no, you got somebody coming in right now.
Right.
And their eyes are like,
And they're really
this
hurt.
is real, you know. And we had 90 people the other day. We couldn't even get in the ER waiting room because there was 90 people waiting to be seen. And they're like, they'd never seen that before.
Right.
So it's just a very eye-opening experience for them to actually show them, take them through the class, and then actually take them to the floors and the rooms and the ERs that people are coming in dealing with that stuff. And you're like, why would you even want to deal with this? Was that text message or that radio station or your passengers in your vehicle that important? Was
Right.
it that important?
Right.
And I say, how dumb do you feel now? You're sitting in this ER hospital bed because you wanted to send a text message off.
Right.
I said, how dumb do you feel now?
Yeah.
And they're like, this is like an eye-opening experience for us. And
definitely a great program.
It's very good. And the last thing before we go, I know we
Yes.
have time. Career fair tomorrow.
Okay.
We have Northwestern State University in Actus. We have a career fair. We have a lot of recruiters there tomorrow. That if you ever thought about being a trooper, you may be a trooper too. I don't know. Hey, wide open for anybody. I think we get caught up in norms, but literally, anybody that wants to come out for a career fair tomorrow at Northwestern, could be students or anything, will be at the Student Center tomorrow. Please come out and see what you got.
Good to know.
Yes.
Casey Wallace, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it so much. We'll be right back with more Good Day Sinlaw right after this break.